Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging hour discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Joe Kuchera, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome in. Good afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, spending some time with us. Happy Monday as we get the week kicked off and started in December. Hard to believe we're getting close to Christmas already, and next thing you know, we'll be in 2018. A couple things for today before we get started, just a few reminders, how you could listen and tune in. One is on the radio at KDOW 1220 AM. We're with you every single day, Monday through Friday, from 3 to 4 Pacific Daylight Time. We're the only real estate-related show that airs live in the Bay Area with this much content, and we continue to do that to help you, the consumers, become more educated and informed with real estate. So the radio is one way. The other way you could follow us is if you go online. So if you have access to the internet, and during this time period, anytime wherever you are, you could go on to kdow.biz. That's the radio website. Just click on the button that says Listen Live, and you can listen to us anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are as long as you have a internet connection. Other thing is we're streaming live on Facebook during the show, unless we're not here. So tune in on Facebook and interact. Tell us what you think. Give us some feedback. Check in with us. Lastly, be sure to download the podcast. That way you could listen to the show, follow the show, listen to it anytime you want at your convenience. You could do that by going to iTunes and typing in Real Estate Radio Live. It'll come up. Go ahead and download the podcast. Or you could always go to our website, reradiolive.com, and download the podcast there. The focus is always the same. It is education and information. We have grown the show in the last 7+ years. For the reason is because we continue to pass on, we believe, and we get feedback from consumers, good information, education, and allow people to really absorb a lot of this in and around real estate so that when it comes time to make any kind of real estate transaction, we hope that we're assisting in them and giving them some good guidance. During the show, if you want to contact us, you could do that during the live portion, 1-800-516-1220. Or you could text your questions in 408-838-9060. A couple topics today. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the low inventory. A lot of people still wonder what is going on with the low inventory. How come it just won't change? It's at an all-time low. It seems like every month it gets lower. For those that are out there trying to buy, it's extremely frustrating, I should say. So there's 6 of the primary reasons. There was an article in the San Jose Mercury today I'm going to talk a little bit about, or a couple days ago, and some of the primary reasons why the inventory is low. And then the second part of the show, I'm going to talk a little bit about renters again. I did a couple of shows recently, one a couple of weeks ago on renters and really trying to keep them encouraged and kind of a positive, upbeat mood. Renters that are looking to buy, I should say. So let me clarify that. So these are people that are renting, and my show that I did specifically was if you're paying $3,500 or more a month for rent here in the Bay Area, there's a good chance that you could likely get approved to buy a home. Now, it could be a condominium, it could be a townhouse, it could be something in an area that you don't particularly want, but the whole idea of the show was to really talk about the positive, upbeat options and actions one could take if they wanted to really purchase a home, and that's for renters. So that's a flag in the air for renters. Hey, look, there's a possibility if you're paying at least $3,500 or more a month for rent, which a lot of people are. It doesn't get you much for rent, by the way. What you could do with that if you were to purchase a home, and so I took you through that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the second part of the show because I've gotten a lot of feedback, a lot of response. We've already approved 7 people since we did that show because it got them kind of re-engaged and had a little bit of encouragement to move forward and see if they could get approved to buy a home. First, again, let's go through these are the 6 reasons why there's most likely very little or not enough inventory on the market. So number one is, and this is probably one of the bigger ones, is the baby boomers just won't move. And so that's, Realtor.com conducted a survey, and they found that 85%, recently they conducted this survey, and they found that 85% of baby boomer homeowners plan to stay in their home for at least the next 12 months. And so this is a big deal. Baby boomers are the group that we talked about for the last 20 to 25 years. Now we're moving away from talking more about baby boomers and talking more about millennials. And so this is one of the biggest reasons. A lot of us have owned homes, and I'm in that category. I've owned homes for 15, 20, maybe 25 years. If you take back the baby boomers, you're in that age range of 40s, late 40s to 50s into your early 60s, in that range for baby boomers. So if you're in that category, it's most likely, if you lived in the Bay Area for a while, maybe if you're fortunate enough, you may have bought property 15, 20 years ago. And if you've held on to it, you've realized some incredible gains. And because you've realized some of these incredible gains, there's a few things that come together because of that. One, it's outstanding to know that you made an investment 15, 20 years ago now that's paying huge dividends in terms of equity. So that's one. You're in an area that most people say this all the time, if I had to come into this market right now, I couldn't afford, or I wouldn't buy my house right now for what it's worth. There's the easy examples all over the place. We bought a home in 1994 for $226,000. We still have that property, and it's probably worth close to $1 million. No one would have guessed that. Millions of people have the same story. The reason I bring it up, and the reason it's example, is because when you have that much equity in a home, there's a couple different things. One, it's looked at as a investment vehicle now. Maybe there's some opportunity down the road. A lot of people never would have thought 20 or 30 years ago would have thought their primary residence or real estate may be one of the components of a vehicle for retirement, but a lot of people now are rethinking that because of the equity that's built up in a lot of this property. So, number one, the baby boomers just won't move. And again, I'm in that category. I understand. I mean, you're in a place you're comfortable. You've been in a place for years. You probably have a decent property tax. And you have a lot of equity. Probably have a decent payment. And the other big piece of it is the taxes. And I'm not sure as I go through that. I'll look at this quickly. I don't know if it's in there. But I will add to this the tax implications. I'm not sure if it's in the, as I look through this, maybe the cost as I go through this list. But I'll add this to the tax implications. So along with the baby boomers, as a single person, you get $250,000. As a couple, you get $500,000 tax, tax free. Or when you sell your home, anything over as a couple, anything over $500,000, you have to pay capital gains on. That's another reason people aren't moving. I mean, imagine if you had, and a lot of people, this is a reality. Imagine if you have $1 million in equity, and you sell your house, and you take your $500,000 exemption. You're taxed on $500,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money to give up. Think about that. 25, potentially 25, 30%, depending on your tax bracket, of $500,000. That is a lot of money to cough up in taxes over developing that appreciation over that many years. So that's number one. Baby boomers are stuck, hard for them to move. Number two is landlords won't sell. So this is a similar thing. So this is a person that has acquired properties over the last several years. And, we're one of those. There's a lot of people like this. You've kept your properties, and then you become a landlord. So whether you have one rental property or 100 rental properties, it's doesn't really matter. It's all relative. It depends on. But the other, number two, the biggest problem is landlords. So these are property owners that won't sell. And the reason, again, is very similar that I just discussed about the baby boomers. They've got these properties that have incredible amount of equity, but even more importantly, if you have a handful of properties and you've had them for 10, 15, 20 years and you've been paying down or paying off the mortgage, think about this. Let's do the easy math on this, right? If you have 5 properties that you bought over the last 15, 20 years, and now let's just say they're owned free and clear, and I know you have to pay property tax and different costs and upkeep on them, and you're getting at least $3,000 a month for those properties, $15,000 a month in rents for 5 properties, easily. If they're single-family homes, and you could probably argue, depending where they are, you might be able to get more than that. So the reason I give that quick example is, now do you know why a lot of these landlords don't want to sell? I mean, look at that cash flow. Where are you going to get cash flow like that? It's going to be difficult. All right, we're going to take a first break. When I come back, I'm going to continue talking about the 6 reasons there aren't enough homes on the market here and inventory is low. If you have any questions about this or anything else, 1-800-516-1220. Maybe you want to talk about buying if you're a renter. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'll be back to continue the live show in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all 3 services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. We are continuing the conversation. The first couple of segments of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the housing shortage, some of the reasons why the inventory is so low, and we'll do that through this segment. And then the next 2 segments, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, talk about renters, calling all renters. Let's put out, I'm going to call it the Renters Challenge. For those people that are renting and you're paying approximately $3,500 or more a month, you might be able to buy. You might be able to purchase, putting out the Renters Challenge. I'll continue to do that into next year. I'll do at least 1 show a week, or at least a couple shows a month. We've had such a good response on this. We've in the last 2 weeks, we've got 7 new people pre-approved to go out and make a purchase that were thinking about it and thought about it, but said that when they listened to the show and they listened to the feedback, it got them kind of re-engaged and motivated to get out there and try to buy. And so I'm going to talk more about that in the last 2 segments. Let's jump back and talk about the 6 reasons why inventory is so low real quickly. The first one was baby boomers just won't move. And the second one, right before we took a break, the second one was landlords won't sell. And I just did a quick scenario right before we took our first break. And one of the reasons why I don't blame landlords for not selling, I mean, if you've owned property for a while And I just did an example. If you own them free and clear and you're getting, 5 properties and you're getting $3,000 a month, you're getting $15,000 a month in income, why would you sell? And deal with capital gains and where you're going to move the money. I'm not saying you wouldn't sell. You could sell and do a 1031 exchange. When I say sell, you could do a 1031 exchange and buy more properties and additional properties. 1031 exchange, you could buy commercial properties. You could do all kinds of different things. But what I'm suggesting is I see why landlords don't want to sell. And this is one of the reasons why inventory is staying low. That's incredible cash flow. Where are you going to get that? If you're near retirement, who knows what Social Security is going to do, and people are relying on Social Security, and if you don't have a pension, can you imagine? A lot of these people are looking at their portfolio going, God, I'm pretty darn fortunate. Whether I knew it or not, I bought properties over the last couple of decades, and now if I keep these, this is my retirement. A lot of people look at it that way. So number 2 was landlords just won't sell, and that's mainly part of the reasons. Number 3 is owners are hooked on low mortgage rates. So I could speak to this, of course. My the way I make a living is I help people with residential mortgages. And over the last 5 or 6 years, mortgage rates have been at all-time historic record lows. So you have millions of people. I don't know the numbers, but there's a lot. You have millions and millions of people that have interest rates in the 3% range. 30-year money, doesn't matter what kind of money, let's just call it. But there was a time, I know that I could tell you, I don't remember the exact date, of course, but when the rates hit the all-time low historically we've ever seen them, ever, there was a point, because I know I had several people in these, that I remember that you could get a 30-year fixed at 3.25 with no points, basically standard closing costs. Believe me, it didn't sound that long, but it was there. You could get a conforming 30-year fixed for 3.25% fixed for 30 years with standard closing costs. That's the lowest I ever remember getting. Now, be careful, because some people might say, well, I got interest rates in the 2s. Well, that was either a 15-year fixed, or maybe you paid points to buy it down. I'm talking about very little or no cost interest rates at 3.25 back where I saw them the lowest. Speaking of that, by the way, 15 years. I could remember back when the rates hit the all-time low. Listen to this. I can remember doing no cost, no points, no fees. So basically no costs associated with that loan for 2.75. Can you imagine? 2.75%. I could remember doing those. They were below 3% for a long time. Really good. Very, very good. And so this is the third reason, not necessarily in this order, but this is another reason why people won't move. They're looking at, they're taking a look at their mortgage statement, and they're going, oh man, look at that, 3.25% fixed for the next 20 years. Now, it's not the only reason you don't want to sell or move, but it's a primary one, right? I mean, it's not the single biggest driver, I could tell you. This is one of them. I think one of the things that's talked about that I don't really agree with 100%, I know there's something to it. If someone really wants to move up, and I'll argue this all day long, if someone really wants to do a move up or buy or sell or whatever, a 3.5% interest rate is not going to keep them in their house. Someone might say, no, that's nonsense, Joe. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I'd debate that all day long, and here's the reason why. You could almost get that interest rate now still, depending on the program, what you're doing. That's why I would debate that. You could still get 30-year money below 4%. May not be 3.25%, but you can get it below 4% depending on the loan to value, your credit scores, all that kind of stuff. This is the reason why that to me, doesn't hold water. If someone really wants to move up, sell their home and move up, or sell their home and get something out. I don't buy the fact, this number 3, that owners are hanging on to their low interest rates. There's a small, tiny percentage, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is that interest rates are much higher. And I'll give you an example where I would agree with this statement. Let's say interest rates a year from now are at 5%. Then I'd say, absolutely, this is a huge factor why people aren't going to move. No doubt. But I'm not buying the fact that someone's going to stay in their home and not be a move-up buyer or do something else because their 3.5% interest rate's keeping them. I just don't buy it. And when I say I don't buy it, I mean I don't buy it for a large percentage of people. I buy it for a small percentage, or maybe there's a few people out there having a party celebrating that they have a 3.5% interest and I'll never move from this house ever. Sure, there's a couple people like that. But you can't tell me that if someone's motivated to do a move up or do something with a purchase or a property, that they're sitting there sweating and wiping off their forehead with sweat because they're concerned about a 3.5% interest rate when you could still get money less than 4%. That's why that one, to me, doesn't hold. Small percentage, but I don't think it's a big factor, personally. Number 4, I'll get through these because we need to take a break here in about 2 minutes or so. Number 4 is builders ignore entry-level buyers. Now, this one's interesting. First of all, there's not a lot of space in our area to build in the Silicon Valley. In the Bay Area, really the only way to go up is upward. The vertical growth is really the only way to go. So this is true, though. I mean, it's tough for builders in an area like this when land is so expensive and space is so expensive. It's almost impossible to have low-income housing. It really is, unless the city subsidizes the builders or there's a program that counties, governments, cities, agencies, different municipalities, sometimes if they subsidize the builders and they help them with that, then that's a different story. All right, we're going to take another break. When I come back, I'm going to actually finish this up quickly, and then we're going to jump into the renters. The Renters Challenge. If you're out there renting and you're paying $3,500 more a month, we want to encourage you to take a look at buying and purchasing. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. If you have any questions, give us a call. I'll be back with you to continue the show in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Hi, this is Joe Kuchera of Real Estate Radio Live. Thanks for tuning into our podcast. We are your go-to resource for all aspects of real estate, including buying, selling, refinancing, building, and legal and tax advice, and much more. You can subscribe to Real Estate Radio Live podcast on iTunes and Stitcher to listen to an engaging discussion about anything and everything real estate. So make sure you get our app, RE Radio Live, in the iTunes store to follow the show.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live, working through the show here in segment 3 of 4 total. And the topic today has been housing shortages, the 6 reasons why there's just not enough inventory or homes for sale. I'll wind that up real quick, and then I'm going to jump into the Renters Challenge, and I'll talk a little more about that, continue to talk about opportunities for renters. All right, so for the shortage, by the way, if anybody wants to check in and give us a call, if you have any questions about this, if you have any input or thoughts, or maybe you're a frustrated renter out there, or you're discouraged, give me a call, 1-800-516-1220 if you're listening to the show. 1-800-516-1220. If you're listening to this via podcast, the way to reach me is 408-838-9060. So let's jump back into the reasons why there's low inventory and There's just not enough houses on the market. When I was taking the last break, we were talking about builders ignore entry-level buyers, and that's really true. I'm not so sure it's the builders ignore it, other than in areas like this, and it's extremely costly. And number 5 kind of goes along with that, is regulations adds cost. So home builders say regulations, including environmental protection, infrastructure fees, and rules that specifically minimize its lot sizes, adds tens of thousands of dollars. And thank you, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful state of California. Boy, this is a great place to live. It is. And it has incredible opportunities. It is incredible, wonderful climate. Centrally located to so many different things. And I'll speak to the Bay Area here now. Okay. But let me tell you, we have a caller online. I'll take that in just a second. But let me just finish this thought. But California is doing everything they can to drive people the heck out of this state to do business and anything else, the kind of taxes they charge and the way they take advantage of people. And I'll talk more about that in a second. I think we have a caller on the line. I believe is it Rob or Rod in San Leandro? Is that correct?
My name is Rod in Castro Valley.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rod in Castro Valley. How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. What can I do for you?
Good. Okay, I was listening to your show, and I'm a baby boomer, and I have a house that I live in that I've lived in forever, it seems like, and about 3 other properties that I rent out. So it was kind of like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
But realistically, what I'm thinking about doing, what I would like to do is take a loan out on this house, because this house is worth in the neighborhood of $800,000, and I don't owe any money on it. So I was thinking about, as a possibility, I have another property in Hayward that I only owe $195,000. So I was thinking about refinancing this one and buying that one. Paying it off. So, but I was just wondering, what does it actually take to qualify now? That's my problem. My problem is I'm not working. I'm a real estate broker, but I'm not working right now.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a great question. Well, first of all, Rod, congratulations for buying the property, accumulating property over the last several years. Sounds like you've done pretty well there, and that was part of my conversation too. Is
right.
I mean, it's no one would ever known with this equity growth and the way rents are these days. But so good for you there. In terms of qualifying, now you'd be surprised. So are you, without asking too many personal questions, are you retired, or you're just not getting much income right now, or what are you getting? What kind of income?
I've been just retired, so the only income I have is from the rental property. I just decided 4 years ago I'm going to take some time off, and I just haven't gotten back. But my plan is to go back.
Good for you.
Probably at the end of this year, early next year, something like that.
Okay. Are you, other than your rentals income, are you collecting any kind of Social Security or pension or anything like that, or is it primarily just your rental income?
I collect Social Security.
Okay.
And then I have some rental income.
All right. Well, what I would encourage you to do is give me a call off the air, Rod, and this is what I do for a living. We could run some numbers. You might be surprised with your rental income and even your Social Security. You might be surprised at what you qualify for, especially if it's a conforming loan amount. If you keep the loan amount under $600,000, you're going to, depending on your county, you're going to be able to, if it's your primary residence, you'd be surprised at what you could qualify for. Income, income's income, whether it's rental income, pension, retirement, royalties, whatever you want to say, it's income, and it can all be used.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. Have you been following this Trump tax plan? Yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert at it, but I follow it, and just enough to be dangerous about it. And then as soon as it, we'll see if it looks like it's going to pass, but we'll see. There's a lot of stuff in there, but I think the one that we've been talking a lot about in our industry is, the mortgage deduction is one of the big things that affects. It's going to affect the real estate side of it and the mortgage side of it anyway.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing. Okay, so on that one, it's if you buy $1 million house, you have to put $500,000 down. So
well, you don't have to. You're not going to get a tax deduction. In other words, you don't have to put $500,000 down, but you're only going to get tax benefits on your interest, on your mortgage interest, up to a maximum loan amount of $500,000. So that's the difference there. In other words, you could have a loan of $800,000, $900,000. You could have a loan for $1 million, $2 million, doesn't matter. The difference is you're not going to be able to write off your mortgage interest anything over $500,000.
Oh, okay.
That's my understanding of it. Yeah. So, it could discourage some people from doing that. We'll see. But anyway, we got to run. But Rod, you have the way to contact me. You have my number.
What is it? I don't know.
408-838-9060. And give me a call off air, and we could run some numbers for you and see what we could do to help you. But I appreciate the call, and thank you for listening to the show. You enjoy the show? You get something out of it?
Yeah, I like it. I watch it. I listen to it in the afternoon. And then there's another guy, Del Walmsley, who's into apartment buildings.
Okay.
I listen to in the morning, same channel.
But this is your favorite show, right? Come on, you got to. This is your favorite show, right?
Oh, definitely, hands down.
Right. Hey, Rod, thanks for calling. Appreciate the feedback too. Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Okay.
All right. Have a great afternoon. Rod's a good sport, and what's great about what I just talked about, before Rod got on the line, I gave that example, and that kind of mirrored him. It's ironic, but not so much that. Here's a gentleman that, was smart enough or fortunate enough or lucky, you could call it what you want, but purchased several properties, and now he's the beneficiary of that and collecting rental income and doing well with it. I don't know the exact numbers, but that was the first part of his question. The second part is he wanted to know how to qualify, and I could help him with that. There's a lot of people that are retired. This is still a message that's out there all the time, and I will continue hopefully educating people on this one. If you're listening to this show out there and you're retired, do not believe all the nonsense you hear that you can't get a loan. That's crazy. It's not true. You can get a loan. You don't have to have a job, a regular job to get a loan. Now, let me preface by saying you do have to have income, but you don't have to have a job. You could have income from rental properties, investments, royalties. You could if you're a partnership, if you're getting income every single month on a regular basis for something, and you could verify it and document it, that's income. So if you're out there, again, if you're retired, don't let people tell you can't get a loan or you won't be able to qualify. This is kind of my theme here, and it's a perfect segue into my theme. As we talk about the renters is, there's so much negative news out there. I think most people would agree with me. It's sad, but that's what sells. Negative, crazy, scandalous. That's the stuff that sells, which is sad. I don't know. I guess there's an appetite for it. Obviously, there's an appetite for it. But part of the reason why a lot of these people get discouraged is if you listen to this nonsense enough over and over, either consciously or subconsciously, and it's in the background and you're listening to this crap, this nonsense about all the negativity, I would suggest trying to turn that stuff off and get into a position where you could stay more positive, whether it's listening to shows, podcasts, reading, any of that kind of stuff, because what it has a tendency to do, if you watch a lot of this news most of the day, you may not think it affects you, but I'm telling you, after a period of time, it affects you. Ask close friends or family members or something. If you start finding yourself feeling a little bit bummed out or talking negative, or most of what comes out of your mouth is, can you believe the damn Democrats, or you can believe those stupid Republicans, or can you believe this, or All these types of things are potentially negative. All right, we're going to take our last break. I'm going to come back, and I promise this time, I know I've been doing it for a while, I'm going to finish up and talk about the Renters Challenge. 1-800-516-1220. If you have any questions, give me a call. We have about another 7 or 8 minutes on the line. 1-800-516-1220. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I'll be back with you to finish up in just a couple minutes.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
The world is changing, and so is real estate. It's changing in ways that give consumers more control with more affordable options. So what are your options? Hi, this is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. I've been on the air educating and informing consumers for over 7 years now. I'm excited to announce that there is now a more efficient and cost-effective way to buy and sell real estate. Our team at Real Estate Radio Live is launching a new program designed to help buyers or sellers like you in real estate, lending, and title. That's right, we'll coordinate the entire transaction for you. So you benefit by working with the same team, saving time and saving money. We'll guarantee you'll not only be working with the most qualified, hand-picked experts in real estate, lending, and title, but you will also save a significant amount of money in all three services as well. Act now and benefit from changing the world of real estate. Call 408-838-9060. Go to RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live, streaming live on iHeart, TuneIn, and KDOW.biz. For more information on today's topic or guest, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for Real Estate Radio Live, Joe Kuchera.
Welcome back in. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. As we wind down the show, last segment, try to get in as much as I can here before we have to go about the Renters Challenge. I'm going to continue on this task, this charge to educate renters. And if you're paying $3,500 more or more for rent, I encourage you to take a look and see if you could buy. I think a lot of people might be surprised that you might be able to. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that and focus on that right before we duck out today. I'm going to launch this segment with this thought. I was talking about this housing shortage as far as low inventory, right? That's a problem. So the question I throw out to you, the renters and the people that are trying to buy, let's say you want to buy, and let's say you'd like to buy, but you're renting. The question I want to throw out to you that are thinking about this, do you focus on the problem or do you focus on a solution? And this is not necessarily for housing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is anything. Do you focus on the problem or do you focus on the solution? Now, you have to understand the problem, but once you understand the problem, move away from focusing on the problem and focus on a solution. In this case, housing is expensive. That's a problem, right? I understand it. I'm educated by it. We talk about it. There's low inventory. That's a problem. We wish there was more. There's not. There could be later. We don't know. So what do? Do you focus on the problem or do you focus on the solution? So if you're out there renting, you renters that are encouraged and you want to focus on the solution, let me give you some solutions. Forget about the fact that it's expensive and forget about the fact for a second that the inventory is low. It is what it is. So the point is what is the opportunity for you? Let's talk about opportunities and solutions. One would be if you think you're paying too much for rent and you're paying $3,500 or more a month from rent, we think we could help you get into a house. Now, here is the thing. The solution is going to be it may not be the house you want. The solution might be it may not be in the area you want. The solution might be it may be a one-bedroom, one-bath condominium. The solution might be you add a parent or a relative on the loan with you so you could qualify for more and get more house. The solution might be you get a partner and buy the house together. See, those are solutions. And some people will say, well, they're really not ideal. I understand, but every solution doesn't have to be the perfect ultimate solution. It has to be a solution. You're just looking for a solution. And the reason I'm focusing on this mindset is that I hear everybody, a lot of people talking about, oh my gosh, I'll never get in the market and it's too high and it's ridiculous and it's expensive. Yes, if you focus on that, it will be, and it will never change. But if you change your mindset, and if you're a renter and you say, you know what, I'm going to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes with Joe, or I'm going to go meet in his office and spend an hour, and we're going to see what I get approved for. It doesn't cost me anything. Matter of fact, I'll get educated while I'm doing it, and I'll figure out what I could afford. And oh, by the way, we may explore some conversations during that meeting that allow me to think about things that I didn't think about before. We may come up with some solutions that will allow me to get into a house that I didn't think I could get into. There may be a program out there that Joe explains to me that will offer up a solution so that I could buy a house. You see, this is what I'm going to try to do over the next several months and even into next year is continue to see how many people I could help that are renting buy homes. And I know it's a discouraging time. I understand it. And I understand all the reasons why. I really do. But there is always, for the most part, if the time is right for you, there's always a solution. And the reason I say that is, what I'm not saying is every single person in the world could buy a home. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you fit in that category where you're paying $3,500 or more or rent each month or more, and you're in the Bay Area here, I can make a case depending on your liabilities and your debt and all that. Believe me, I know it depends. Each situation is different. We might be able to help find you a house. Since I did this show 2 weeks ago, specifically on this topic, we've got 7 new people pre-approved to be homeowners. They're out looking for homes right now, and they weren't doing that before. So this is the Renter's Challenge. If you're listening to this show, or if you're listening to the podcast later, and if you're renting, give me a call. Check in. Let's see if you get approved. Let's see if we can make this happen. I would love to get 5 to 10 people a month pre-approved, ready to go to buy a home. That would be great. That would be outstanding. It would be fun. It would be exhilarating to see a lot of people's the hope on their face that, hey, maybe I can make this happen. Maybe we can make this happen. And that's all I'm talking about. Try to stay away from the negative news. Try to stay away from the people that say you'll never buy. Try to stay away from the people that say you can never afford it. Those people aren't going to do anything good for you. Go do something for yourself, your family, and the people that care about you. All right, unfortunately, we're running out of time. That is, as we wrap up the show, if you want more information, if you want more information, go to our website, reradiolive.com. During the week, you can reach me at 408-838-9060. This is Joe Kuchera with Real Estate Radio Live. The Renter's Challenge is on. Let's keep it going. Have a great afternoon. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Tune in, log in, download our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com. reradiolive.com.